Birch Lane was the kind of place where everything had its place, and everyone knew theirs. Lawns were trimmed like clockwork, porch lights all matched, and gossip traveled faster than the morning paper. People called it peaceful. Others called it suffocating. But no one questioned it. Until today. A dusty SUV rolled into the cul-de-sac just past noon, towing a small trailer stacked with furniture and boxes. It parked in front of number 12, a cozy house that had been empty for months. A man in his 40s stepped out. Broad-shouldered, relaxed in jeans and a plain t-shirt, he looked around with calm curiosity. His name was Daniel Reed, and he had just moved in. To most, he seemed like just another homeowner, but he carried more than a driver's license and moving paperwork. He brought a badge and a quiet promise of change. Across the street, curtains twitched. In house number 7, Margaret Dixon peered through her blinds, lips pursed. Widowed, retired, and self-appointed guardian of Birch Lane standards, she had run the neighborhood committee for over a decade. Standing beside her was Gil Turner, her soft-spoken neighbor who usually nodded at everything she said, though even he sometimes wondered who gave her the crown. "Look at that trailer," Margaret scoffed. "Boxes everywhere. No welcome sign. Not even a mailbox decal. Birch Lane doesn't tolerate disorder." Gil mumbled, "Maybe he just needs time to settle in." Margaret already had her phone out. "Time is no excuse. We keep standards for a reason. One loose nail and the whole fence collapses." She crossed the street, clipboard in hand, her heels clicking with authority, and approached Daniel, who was unloading a coffee table. "Excuse me," she said curtly. "I'm Margaret Dixon, head of the Birch Lane Improvement Council. I noticed your front area is a bit chaotic. We have guidelines here, and we expect all residents to follow them strictly from day one." Daniel turned, polite but unreadable. "Appreciate the introduction. I'm Daniel." Margaret didn't slow down. "We ask new residents to conform within 24 hours. That includes storage, landscaping, and trash placement. I can send you the document or submit a formal notice if that's easier." Daniel raised an eyebrow. "You run this council officially?" "Of course," she said, proudly. "I've been overseeing Birch Lane for 12 years. "And does that include enforcement?" Daniel asked, folding his arms. Margaret hesitated. "We make recommendations. The city usually follows our lead." Daniel reached into his pocket and pulled out a leather case. He flipped it open. "Deputy Sheriff Daniel Reed, County Office." Margaret froze, her clipboard lowering an inch. Gil, who had wandered over, let out a low whistle. "I'm not just moving in," Daniel said calmly. "I'm also your new community liaison for law enforcement. The department wanted someone embedded, someone to see things as they really are. Looks like I got here just in time." Margaret's face reddened. We weren't informed." Daniel nodded. "Well, now you are. And from what I see, it might be time to review how things have been handled around here. What you call standards might look a lot like pressure to someone else." He looked at Margaret squarely. "Respect isn't about rules. It's about how you treat people. I'm not here to dismantle your traditions, but I won't let intimidation replace community." A long silence followed. Even the wind seemed to pause. Then Gil cleared his throat. "Maybe we should give him a real welcome." Margaret adjusted her blouse, stiff but flustered, then, surprisingly, nodded. "Perhaps we've been too rigid. I'll notify the committee." Daniel smiled, extending a hand. "Glad to be here." As they shook, a light breeze rustled the trees lining Birch Lane. The street looked the same, but something had shifted. Daniel noticed a few more neighbors watching from their windows, not with suspicion, but with curiosity. The first crack in the old system had formed. Order had a new face, and it came with a badge and a smile. But behind that smile was someone who had seen what control without compassion could do, and he wasn't about to let it take root again. Birch Lane was about to learn the difference between fear and respect, and that lesson had just arrived in a moving truck. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to subscribe to the Story Hub and press the bell icon for more amazing content.